Yes, sir. This is our smallest menu. Hey, everybody. My name's Ryan. I'm 1/3 of the members of the Ruiners crew. And with me, as always, the beautiful, the talented, Jeremy.
I'm the third member.
How are you?
The one in between the legs.
Anyway, we watched The Amusement Park. The Amusement Park is a 1973 film, kind of. That
Filmish?
Film-ish.
It's filmic. It's very filmic.
Yes, it's shot on film in an amusement park. It was directed by George A. Romero, whom you might know from other movies like Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Returning of the Dead. He invented zombies. There you go.
If you don't know who George Romero is, why are you listening to this?
Yeah.
Who are you?
What the fuck is wrong with you?
But if you don't, go look him up, because he made a lot of really good movies a long time ago. He's basically responsible for why you know what a zombie is now. Fucking kids. Get out of my lawn. Get out of the inside of my lawn. Oh, God.
So you want to just dive right into whatever the hell this thing is supposed to be?
The main actor, Lincoln Maazel, pretty much comes out at the beginning and end of the movie and tells you exactly what it's about.
What you're about to visit illustrates some of the many problems people of my age face on a daily basis.
Because it's like not really a movie. It's, what was it, made for?
The Lutheran Service Society of Western Pennsylvania. It was an educational film about elder abuse.
Yeah, don't abuse the elderly. This is why.
Hello.
It's, I'm pretty sure, the only movie that he directed that he didn't write. I think that's it.
I'm looking where it says the guy who wrote it, Walton Cook. It says one of the rare Romero projects he did not write himself. Yeah.
So the Lutheran Society went out of their way to contact George Romero.
I think the Lutheran Society was just looking for a good director who had some stuff under his wing, which I'm sure by this time George Romero did. At the very least, he had Night of the Living Dead, and he probably needed money, I guess. The budget for the movie was $37,000, and it was shot over the course of 3 days at the Westview Park in Westview, Pennsylvania. There's a little amusement park there.
It's like a 4K restoration of one of the 16mm prints. Was it the original print? It said at the end of the credits, it said something about one of the 16mm prints being too difficult to scan or something. Wow, whoever did the audio restoration did not do good. Look, they spelled "too" wrong. Was too badly faded.
It's no, Ryan.
I'm stupid.
No. There were two prints.
I'm the one that's the idiot. Got it. Oh, that explains the audio. It was captured from one of the 16mm prints. This motion picture was digitally restored by IndieCollect at Laboratory for Icon and Idiom Inc. using a 5K Kineta archival scanner. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it sounds cool. If you're a nerd.
Yeah, you're right. It's lame. I'm not one of those, so.
Yeah. Well, anyway, The Amusement Park is basically an educational film.
I learned a lot. Did you learn a lot?
Well, I mean, it was things that I constantly think about every day anyway, but sure.
I learned not to rub fried chicken in my eye when I'm crying.
You're still going to do it. You're not going to think, and you're going to do it.
There's lots of things I've learned not to do that I still do, so.
Yeah. So right off the bat, I guess since we got that information out there, let me just ask you, does the fact that this movie was commissioned by the Lutheran Society kind of taint it for you?
Taint.
Yeah. It's undeniable when you watch this movie. He still put his big old thumbprint, right on the top of it. You watch it, you're watching a George Romero production.
Give me away!
guy's a fucking giant, too.
Holy shit. Oh my god. What if that was Edmund Kemper? I'm trying to think of how many actors that were like people who were actually cast for a part other than the main guy.
Oh no, you had the rich man with the bubblegum cigar.
Oh, that's right. And the people that were
waiter,
serving him.
Yeah, and then,
that couple.
I'm thinking the two kids, the couple, and the fortune teller also.
Yeah, the shyster.
Yeah.
Although apparently she really could see into the future, I think.
Sure.
According to the movie, according to this educational film, I should treat fortune tellers with more respect because they actually do a good job and aren't liars.
You know, that's another reason why I think they were probably mostly hands-off on this. They had no idea what Romero was doing with it until they got it, because they're responsible for it being quote-unquote lost. They shelved it because they were too freaked out.
Didn't I say at one point, like, uh-oh, this feels like a church thing?
You didn't say, uh-oh, this feels like a church thing. You were guessing that Lincoln Maazel's character was an angel. Yeah. But I really don't think these guys definitely had no idea what he was doing, because I seriously doubt the Lutheran Service Society would fund a movie that promotes witchcraft and occult doings such as fortune telling and seeing the future.
Yeah, he also reads Three Little Pigs. That's got to be evil, right?
And dude, let's not forget the whole big fuck you to the church during that scene where Lincoln Maazel tries to go to the church for sanctuary, but they're out taking a smoke break. Yeah.
Don't they put like a rope up, and don't they use the cross to hang the rope up or something?
It was like, yeah, and it was like there was also a Star of David in there too that they just put a chain around, or a velvet rope or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're out back in silhouette, striking up a smoke.
I bet you it was that scene alone that made those Lutheran guys go, nope.
They didn't even get that far. Think about it. If they're sitting there watching the cut. No, because the fortune teller was before that.
You're right. The movie has a mesmerizing quality, though, so I would not be surprised if at least some of them watched all the way through.
I think, let's see, where would they have stopped watching? Like the intro is, I think the intro where, what's his name?
Lincoln Maazel.
When Lincoln Maazel is
I
talking.
keep wanting to say Zero Mostel, do you? Anyway.
When the intro where Lincoln Maazel's wearing like a trench coat thing, and he's basically playing himself. He's like not, he's just being like a narrator person, introducing the film.
Ernest Hemingway. He's playing someone.
Possible. He is wearing a
maybe
red
Colonel
shirt.
Sanders.
That's later on when he takes the coat off and he's wearing the white suit.
Fair enough.
But when he's introducing the movie and he's basically explaining economic problems and just societal issues in general and how they affect the elderly. And then it cuts to white room with a door. If the chicken fought back.
Somebody's didgeridoo's broken. Hey, it's that guy. That guy. There he is.
How did he do that?
Hello.
You think they checked out then? I don't think so. Because at that point, they can still have the angel theory that you had.
Yes. So, essentially, the story from there's not really a lot of dialogue.
No, it's set pieces where he goes from area to area in the amusement park, and the happenings whether he goes on a ride or tries to, play a game or get in some sort of amusement activity is analogous to the daily challenges that were brought up at the beginning of the movie by Lincoln Maazel regarding the elderly, things that they have to deal with.
Just even getting into the park was trouble right at the beginning. because
Yeah.
there were other elderly people attempting to get into the park, and
Yeah.
they had their like heirloom possessions, and they're trying to trade them in for money to get tickets. And the what's it guy, the like carnival barker guy or whatever, is only willing to give him $5 for everything.
I think it's pretty much on the nose all the way through. You know, it's very heavy-handed. If you think George Romero's regular movies are rife with social commentary, then I mean,
Yeah, that's the whole point of this movie.
yes, and it's set up, it's prepped for you by the lead actor himself, and then it's recapped at the end. So if you had any possible question as to what could have been going on, because he does shoot it in very inventive ways. It's not just like the crazy stuff that happens with the fortune teller and, you know, the weird cuts and the odd soundtrack.
Oh, that like super wide angle lens too.
All of that stuff lends itself to an air of unreality, but at the same time, it's totally real. Like there was at least one point I almost had a tear in my eye because it reminded me of my grandparents. And even though most of the people in the movie aren't actors, there's a lot of real interactions you see with elderly people and some of the actors, which are pretty good, by the way. One of the guys that was arguing at the beginning of the movie with the ticket taker guy,
I can't give you more than $5.
Oh, man!
the old lady in the telephone during the future prediction sequence.
Why are you punishing me like this, huh?
You'd think by the time they were that old, they'd have like a cell phone.
She wasn't like particularly a good actor, but she was saying things that you would definitely expect somebody to hear when they're an old person and they're trying to get the attention of a doctor who doesn't give a shit about them, which is absolutely a real thing that does happen.
Well, I mean, when she's calling the doctor is being mobbed by people also. He's still like a dick, but it's like the way that society works. I mean, that's the point they're trying to make. They're like, at a certain point, the doctor doesn't care about you because you're too old now, and they have more important people to take care of that are younger, that quote unquote deserve it more.
This whole thing is supposed to be a massive guilt trip for younger people, most of Western society, who engage in what is typically called ageism nowadays.
Yeah, you're too old. Fuck off. And there's that scene where they go to a shop in the amusement park where they push him into this building where it's essentially like an old folks home, and there are people exercising the old people.
It's physical
and,
therapy.
Yeah, doing physical therapy. Because it's really the story of...
It's the story of you, Ryan.
Yeah.
Lincoln Maazel tells us in no uncertain terms.
That's true.
At the very
It's
end.
very specifically about you.
Because I was having fun, like, figuring out exactly who Lincoln Maazel's character, like, what he was supposed to be exactly. And we kind of had a back and forth about that. We mentioned before, you thought he was, like, some kind of angel at first. I thought it was more of an abstract kind of thing, maybe, where it's like the recursiveness of life, where you go through these things again and again and again, and it starts over. And I think I was kind of right, too, Ryan, by the way, because the end of the movie is exactly as it was in the beginning, which, you know, you definitely see it coming. It's not a twist. By the time he gets to the end of the movie, he looks like the guy who's all beat up and haggard at the beginning of the movie, because it is him. And I was thinking of, like, the you in the objective, like the objective you, the thing that we all go through.
Yeah, the human you.
And yeah, Lincoln Maazel then just comes on the screen and says, "It's you. I'm you.
Well, the thing at
You're
the end...
old now."
At the end, well, he literally says, "One day you will be old." And it's clearly, you're like, oh yeah, that's like the beginning. And then a new Lincoln Maazel walks in, and they have the same conversation. And he walks, and then the other guy walks out.
The new Lincoln Maazel.
Yes, the new. But the thing is, at the end, when Lincoln Maazel is talking and basically just telling you again what the film just told you, that, oh, you're going to get old, he says something about, like, life doesn't have to end up back in the White Room.
Yes. And go ahead.
Is that...
Yeah,
well, because my thought was, I feel like the White Room is supposed to be just like the ultimate shunned from society. There's no one there. It's like being in a hospital bed. No one visits you. No one sees you or takes care of you. And you're just there to die.
I just saw it as the end. I just saw it as the end.
Because I don't see it as being dead. Because then that kind of leads to my... like, oh, he's an angel thing, and then he gets reborn. Because, I don't know, because like a white room, hospital room.
Whatever
it's like
it is,
the waiting room.
It's
the waiting
hospice.
room to hell.
It's waiting to die. Well, no, you don't have to say hell, but it's...
Fine,
the Lutherans
heaven.
would have you think it's hell.
Yeah.
Or heaven.
That's why he's wearing a white suit.
Or purgatory or whatever. I don't think they had a hand in that part necessarily. I think the finished product, the movie that we got... very little, if anything, that could be considered Lutheran pressure exists in this movie. There are two key points, and you already mentioned one, that I think did come from their influence, but everything else, I think, was kind of just, hey, we got 3 days, we got this much money, what do you feel like doing? And I think George Romero just kind of did his thing.
I will say it's not just about being elderly. It's also about being elderly and poor, because that rich guy also appears to be relatively old.
That's one of the plot points writ large that they wanted included. Not only are these people old, but they're also poor. And being elderly sucks more than just being poor or being elderly. Just knowing that this was done for the Lutheran Society and the emphasis on... Okay, Lincoln Maazel has this not so cryptic line at the outro where he talks about there are already organizations and facilities that help the elderly if you just reach out.
Yeah, they're already set up. You just have to be proactive about it.
Yeah, you just have to get off your ass and quit being a shitty child.
Yeah, you stupid baby.
Shitty sons and daughters, shitty nieces and nephews.
Yeah.
Go out and
stop being a boomer and help the old generation that won WW2.
By maybe giving a few dollars to the Lutheran Society.
If you could spare it, give me some tickets. I need some tickets.
Yeah. The Lutheran Society needs tickets to take the elderly on the Matterhorn.
That was like a weird disassociation where he had to buy tickets with money, and then he used all his tickets.
Now all I have is useless money.
What am I going to do with this?
I'm wondering if it's like time. Because I see the amusement park as
money is time.
Whenever I made my guess earlier about it being like recursive life, eternal return sort of thing, you said, well, he's an old man when he first walks in the door to the White Room.
Yeah.
So it's like, shouldn't he be like a child or something? Well, yes, but I think the particular experience of the amusement park as an old man is the phase of life that he's walking into. The amusement park itself is life. So like young people deal with their own stuff related to getting food or...
I see what you're getting at. So the amusement park is life.
Yeah.
And you walk into this White Room. But if the White Room is the end of life, that's confusing. Because that means, then where did he walk in from?
The phase of life that he was living before he became the age that he is now, which is apparently the age just before death. Doesn't that evoke feelings of visiting elderly people that you know in the hospital? It's all about giving you this vague idea that, like, you know this is coming. It's the whole thing with the fortune teller. Like, we all know, we don't know subjectively, like firsthand, what it's going to be like to be old. But we see it happen to everybody that we care about. Everybody.
Yeah,
It's
and we
just
choose
going to be a
ignore
thing.
it. No,
Well-
I mean that's the point they're trying to make, is that you're seeing this all the time, but you're making a choice to ignore it. And that's the one of the last things that Lincoln Maazel says is like, hey, don't ignore it. You got to stand up. There are places you can go to help out, do your part. So it's not so bad for the elderly.
I can't remember if you actually answered my question when I first brought it up earlier, but did it taint this a little bit for you, knowing that the Lutheran Society funded
Oh,
it?
that's right. You said taint and then I laughed.
Yes.
I'm trying to find a reason why it would. Part of me wants to feel like yes, but at the end of the day, it really does feel like it isn't tainted, is because they looked at it and went, yeah, we're going to lose this.
Yeah, this doesn't suit our purposes.
Yeah. So I don't feel like it's really tainted, because we wouldn't have gotten this if they didn't want to do something and then they didn't pick him. If anyone else made this thing, no one would ever hear about it. We would have never known about it.
It funded the Crazies, and then Lincoln Maazel later on appeared in Martin, which is a great George Romero movie. So,
And he's great in it.
First, I will save your soul. Then I will destroy you. I will show you your room.
the movie does, its subtle jabs at people who on the surface are caring, like that pickpocket was, hey, I'm a nice guy, and God bless you.
He was trying to.
Thanks for the watch.
That was during a part where, what were they? They were like castle remodelers. They were basically trying to trick the old people into selling them their house.
Yeah.
And Lincoln Maazel goes and sits down.
Oh, there were two guys. There was another guy that was trying to get them to trade in the deed to their house for living in a retirement home.
Live.
Yeah.
Yup. And the other guy was like, "Oh, we'll inspect your house and all that stuff, and everything's free," and clearly like shysters.
Yeah, you could tell by the cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I definitely didn't dislike the movie. You were oohing and awing at the bouquet.
Bouquet.
Or is it?
Jeez. There's a great...
The bouquet around that chicken leg.
It looks really good because the lens he's using, you can really see the curvature in the lens. It looks nice. I do want to point out the little girl, when he's reading her the book and he finally gets some sensation of being cared about. He just wanted an opportunity to care for someone else almost. And finally, someone, a little girl, shows him a little respect and then offers him chicken awkwardly.
And he puffed and he huffed.
Did you see what she was doing with her eyes?
He ate up.
She's rolling them. Yeah.
Look what she's...
Yeah.
And of that little...
She's not an actor.
She's bored as fuck.
It took her much longer to build a house of straw house than a house of sticks.
She just kept
I wonder if that was
crossing her eyes.
direction or was she just decided to do that? It fits. I mean, it's definitely, it's thematic.
By the hair of my chimney chin chin. I don't...
Oh.
Eat your chicken, bro.
It totally fit in thematically with what was going on.
I don't think
They
it
were
was direction. I think it was just the little girl was just bored and crossing her eyes. And then as soon as the scene was over and her, like, I'm assuming real mom was like, all right, let's go. Dude, that little girl got up so fast to get out of there.
Yeah, but I mean, it could have just been easily, like, George could have said, act bored.
I mean, maybe.
Because
yeah.
part of the scene was everybody packing up and leaving him.
Yeah, I don't think he said, hey, little girl, cross your eyes. I don't think he did that.
Can you cross your eyes?
Yeah, can you do that?
I hope George's glasses didn't get stepped on whenever they were trying to push him into Boot Hill.
Man.
So I guess George didn't really care for this movie too much. We have Suzanne, his wife, to thank for even being able to see this movie. She said that, okay, here's the quote. Do you want to just read the whole thing?
Yeah, sure. We'll link to this article as well. So
it says here, Suzanne says she and her husband watched it perhaps 3 or 4 weeks before George's death in July 2017. I have to say I was gobsmacked, Suzanne says. First of all, it's even hard to describe. It's so unique, it's edgy, it's still relevant. It still has Romero all over it. I said to him, "What the heck?" No, wait a minute. I didn't say that right.
okay, here. I'll say it. I said to him, "What the heck? You never mentioned this." He goes, "Well, it was a community thing. It was nothing."
I really want to know, like, what the original script was.
I was thinking that earlier. I want to see what it actually said, because it's got to be like really bare bones. Like maybe the beginning, probably fairly scripted, and then he enters the amusement park, and he starts going through the trials of what it's like to be old and being mistreated because he's elderly. And then that's it.
I wonder if Romero had the opportunity, which he probably did, but I wonder if he really had the opportunity to talk to some of the elderly people that they were featuring in the movie. The part at the beginning where, I keep wanting to say Zero Mostel, where Lincoln Maazel comes out and says, hey, this is like the most fun some of these people have had in a long time, just coming out to do this movie for us. They were all volunteers. I imagine that throughout the process of filming this over the 2 or 3 days, Romero probably talked to these people, and I think that really helped to hammer in, not to mention the fact that he himself would be in his early 30s at this time, the time of making this. It really hammered in the nail of guilt. heavy on the guilt. That's the biggest religious influence, I think, or at least the biggest analog to religion. This movie will definitely make you feel guilty, I think.
It's like the equivalent of the elderly's Stations of the Cross.
I don't think I could top that. I think that's the line of the review.
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It's like starts out okay, and then as soon as he has to talk to another person, they just treat him like shit.
Just everybody's an asshole. Yep. He basically gets Super Mario Brother.
Some kind of a degenerate.
Accuses him of being a pedophile.
Oh yeah, that's so weird. He's just trying to like talk to some kids.
He was just gonna share his peanut butter saltine.
Oh yeah, he bought his groceries and then he couldn't carry all the bags at the same time. So he just grabbed his peanut butter and crackers and walked away.
I'm sure there are a bunch of elderly people who can't live with themselves.
Yeah.
They can't even probably cook properly. So they're limited to like, I have to buy what I can eat. Some of them probably can't even eat peanut butter because they can't get the goddamn jar open.
Yeah, not only is it I have to buy what I can eat, it's I have to buy what I can make.
What I can carry.
Yeah, that's double limited.
Yeah, so basically we should all feel very ashamed of ourselves, and we should have more respect for our elders, and I feel really bad.
Yeah, you fucking boomers. Wait.
Yeah, why don't you quit making memes, and why don't you go give old ladies a dime so they can use the payphone to call the doctor
who doesn't give a fuck,
who looks like one of the Ringling Brothers? Did the doctor look to you like a balding Gavin McGinnis? Like,
I don't remember what he looks like.
Ridiculous, like wannabe old timey bartender or a bare knuckle boxer or something.
Bare knuckle boxer, yeah. There was some other guy that looked like a famous guy, wasn't there?
Jeff Daniels was in this movie.
Who did I point out towards the beginning? I can't remember now. Oh, Jesse Eisenberg. Some dude looked like Jesse Eisenberg. He really did.
Yeah.
He's ageless.
Yeah. You want to do the wrap up? Let's do the wrap up. We'll do the rating, wrap up, all that shit.
Okay, how do we do that?
Or is there anything else you want to say? Anything else?
Well, I was basically just saying it's surreal. If if you don't try to overanalyze it like apparently we were doing, it'll take you for a ride. And you may learn something about old people and that they have struggles and that it's real.
And it'll happen to you.
It's happening to you right now.
Fucking you ain't got to tell me.
You old bitch.
Fuck you, asshole. I'm going to run over you with my fucking...
You can cut that out. With your walker?
I'm going to hit you with my motorized scooter. Fuck you. Set your beard on fire.
Okay, let's do the wrap-up. How do you do the wrap-up again?
We give a rating, Ryan, and then we say whether or not we'd recommend it.
So would you recommend this, and what kind of rating do you think you might give The Amusement Park, directed by George A. Romero? Go now.
This is hard to actually rate, honestly, because if we're talking educational films, this is absolutely top-notch, one of the best educational films I've seen, and I would give it a 5 out of 5. If we're talking about, like, movies to watch, it's hard to say, because it doesn't even really feel like a movie.
I'm already
It feels
100% agreeing with you.
It's film-ick. Fuck it, I'm gonna say 4. Fuck it. These ratings mean nothing. 4 diapers. I'm wearing 4 diapers. Full of shit.
All right, would you recommend it, though?
Yeah. If you like George Romero, I think you're gonna dig it. If you're just a dude or a lady and you got an hour to kill, it might be a good thing to watch and, you know, maybe give a thought to the older people in your life, maybe. But if you don't give a shit about old people and you don't give a shit about George Romero, this isn't a movie. Don't watch it. Ryan, what is your rating and or recommendation of The Amusement Park, TM, directed by George Romero?
You keep saying his name wrong. Thank you. Jeez.
A. George Romero.
I'm going to have to agree with you. It's not a movie. 4 out of 5 diapers.
Okay.
For what it is, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
It's weird. You're asking a lot of questions the whole time. I did at least, I started kind of feeling bad for the guy. And I'm like, why is everyone being a dick? There's some funny shit that happens. Did I mention that it's weird? But it's not a movie. And I think at the end of the day, I don't think I could recommend it, really. I think it's pretty obvious that if you haven't heard that this is like a thing now, that you probably don't care enough.
What thing?
That if you haven't heard of...
Poor elderly people are a thing?
No. If hearing us talk about this movie is the first time that you've ever heard about this, and you
Why
don't
are you
know...
listening to this? We're spoiling the shit out of it anyway.
Well, that's the point. But I'm just saying, if you haven't seen the movie and you don't know what it is, and you're not familiar with George A. Romero, you're not gonna like it because it's not a movie. There's like barely any plot.
I mean, you obviously can recommend or not recommend. It's your choice, but I don't know, man. I think just a regular person, if they watch this, if they sat through the whole thing, I said earlier that I think that there's something a little mesmerizing just by how George does it that pulls you in. But then again, maybe that's just because I like George Romero. Fuck, maybe there are people who watch Night of the Living Dead and go, this is fucking boring. Turn this off.
I'm leaning towards that we just have a different understanding of what a normal, regular film person might enjoy. And I feel like a normal, regular person who likes movies would think this is dog shit.
Yeah, you're going to be like, these aren't even actors. This is terrible acting.
Yeah, you're going to say, this looks like shit. Oh, it looks really old. It sounds really old. Why does it sound old? Why is everyone old? There you go. That's the point of the movie. Everything is old. And it's going to get older. And you have to respect that, okay? You stupid fuck.
You don't have to respect it, but you do have to feel really bad and give the Lutherans money. No? Ryan, I have something to admit to you. I've been paid by the Lutheran Society.
No, I was letting that be the end.
Oh.
Okay. You can follow us on Twitter at We Ruin Movies. You can support us on Patreon at patreon.com/The Ruiners. Or you can just stay on YouTube and click around, have fun, leave comments, touch my butt.
Don't do that.
Just cut out the part where I say that.